A woman named Diana Sherman has a daughter. The birth was premature. There was a great risk that the child would not survive or remain disabled for life. And indeed, years later we see a girl named Chloe confined to a wheelchair. She suffers from a number of diseases, including arrhythmia, asthma, and diabetes. Chloe has to take pills literally by handfuls and stay at home all day. The girl, however, does not waste time in vain. She studies hard and is engaged in her favorite hobby, electronics. Chloe is looking forward to receiving an answer about enrolling at the university, but Diana constantly intercepts incoming mail and says that no letters have been received. We see how a woman takes care of her daughter, helping her with medical procedures and exercises. However, she clearly has a secret. At night, Diana goes down to the basement and watches a video with little Chloe eating a whole bowl of chocolate dessert. But the use of sugar in such quantities for a girl is probably almost fatal. One day, Chloe discovers a bottle of pills intended for her, and the label Trigoxin, which for some reason has Diana's name on it. She explains that it is actually a pasted receipt. However, later on Chloe sees that a new label with her name is pasted on top of the old one. To find an explanation for this, the girl tries to use the internet on her computer secretly from her mother. She does not have a smartphone and did not have one, but she prudently turned it off. Continuing to search for a clue, the girl also secretly calls a stranger on a landline phone, and with his help finds out that the real Trigoxin looks completely different. Under the pretext of going to the cinema, Chloe goes to the city with Diana. Having gone to the toilet during the movie show, the girl rushes to the pharmacy, where she finds out that the real name of the suspicious capsules is Ridocaine. This drug is intended for dogs. The meaning of its use is to weaken the muscles up to immobilization. A shocked Chloe, realizing the meaning of her mother's actions, begins an asthma attack. Diana breaks into the pharmacy, stabs her with a sedative, and takes her home. Diana tries to come up with an excuse for herself, enlisting the support of a pharmacist and a doctor. But in the end, she just leaves Chloe locked in a room, breaks the telephone wire, and disconnects the lift needed to move between floors. The girl comes up with the idea to use her knowledge in the field of physics. She takes water into her mouth, takes a soldering iron and a blanket connected to the power grid via an extension cord, crawls along the roof to the window of the next room, heats the glass with a soldering iron and pours water on it. The glass cracks and bursts. With the help of a blanket, Chloe crawls into the room. After tumbling down the stairs, Chloe discovers that she is able to move her toe. The drug, which she has not taken for a long time, ceases to work. In a wheelchair, the heroine leaves the house and blocks the way to the mail truck, explains the situation to the postman, and asks him to take her to the police. But immediately Diana appears on the road in her car. She injects a lethal dose of the drug she was carrying in the trunk with a syringe to the postman. Chloe suffocates and loses consciousness. Waking up, the heroine finds herself locked in the basement of the house. There she finds a letter of admission to the university, as well as documents proving that Diana is not her real mother. In fact, Diana's premature daughter died a couple of hours after giving birth. Distraught with grief, a woman stole someone else's healthy child from the hospital, Chloe. In confirmation of this, in one of the photos, the girl sees herself at a younger age, standing on both legs. Diana, who has entered, tries to justify herself, wanting to forget about the enmity and start all over again. At the same time, she says that she did everything for the good of her daughter. Chloe is furious and replies that all actions were based on Dina's selfishness. Hearing this, the latter takes a syringe, fills it with solvent, and moves towards the girl. Chloe manages to lock herself in the pantry. There she takes an organophosphate solution and, unlocking the door, takes it inside. In order not to let her daughter die, Diana is forced to hospitalize her. Chloe, who has come to her senses and is very weak, tries to tell the nurse with the help of a note how dangerous her mother is. But Diana manages to distract the staff and kidnap the girl. Fortunately, the nurse who returned and discovered the disappearance makes the correct interpretation of the word mom written on paper and calls security. Diana drives Chloe to the broken escalator. In an effort to find another way out of the hospital, the woman realizes that she cannot move the wheelchair. It turns out that Chloe is holding her with her foot. Diana asks for reconciliation and return home for the last time, but the daughter rejects her. Seeing the guards, the woman pulls out a gun, but immediately takes a bullet and falls down. At the end of the film, we see Diana 7 years after the unfortunate events. She still uses a wheelchair, but can already walk with the help of a cane. The girl is being searched at the entrance to the prison to visit Diana there. The mother is in the infirmary. We see her on the bed paralyzed. Chloe talks about her life successes. She's happily married, she has a daughter, and a dream job, which consists in designing devices for the disabled. In addition, Chloe met her real parents and regularly communicates with them. At the end of her monologue, the girl takes out a pill hidden in her mouth of the very drug that her mother stuffed her with. Judging by the expression on Diana's face, this is for her. Chloe asks her to open her mouth. The meaning of the ending of the movie, Locked Up, is quite simple. The former victim and aggressor, that is, Chloe and Diana, have changed places. The latter is now paralyzed and continues to weaken, including due to forced treatment with lidocaine tablets. Chloe's medicine is regularly smuggled into prison under the pretext of dating. Some in their analyses find a hidden meaning in this episode and offer the following explanations of the ending. The monster mother gave birth to the monster daughter. The mental disorder of one was transmitted to another. The painful need for care was transferred from Diana to Chloe. However, this contradicts the entire content of the film, where there was not a single hint of something like that. Most of all, what is shown in the ending of Locked Up looks like a banal revenge. Chloe simply wants Diana to be in her shoes, to feel what she felt most of her life. So, the authors of the film Locked Up used a real-life mental disorder called delegated Munchausen syndrome, in honor of the Baron, who according to legend was famous for his fictional stories, as a constantly threatening danger to the heroine. This is the case in some families. There are even documentaries that are devoted to a similar situation that ended in tragedy. The trigger for actions to worsen health is not always a disorder, expressed in a painful need for caring for a child, support and pity from others. Sometimes the motive is the desire to receive monetary benefits and benefits. In reality, however, the picture differs significantly from the almost idyllic relationship of mother and daughter shown at the beginning of the movie Locked Up. A person suffering from delegated Munchausen syndrome combines harmful treatment with mental manipulation, abusive relationships. In order to maintain the symptoms, it does not always make sense to poison the victim accustomed to helplessness to the aggressor. The essence of the film is to keep the viewer in suspense, making them worry about the heroine. Everything else in the genre of pure thriller is secondary, and this goal has been accomplished quite qualitatively, largely thanks to the excellent performance of the performer of the role of Chloe Kira Allen, who uses a wheelchair in real life.